Yo, what's going on, guys? What's going on, man? Trying something different, trying to get on here a little earlier to see what it's like to go live a little earlier, man. You know, I never have a set time when I go live, but I'm looking to change that, guys. So maybe you guys could go ahead and leave in the chat box, man. Is it too early for me to go live right now? Should I be going live a little bit later? Are you guys still in the gym? Are you guys still working out? I don't know, man. Maybe this isn't a good time. Maybe I should be going live like, a little bit later here on the East Coast, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Let me know in the chat box. I'm trying to find that perfect time that I can go live so I can interact with more of you guys. You see what I'm saying? I know that typically I don't go live at 7. I usually go live like 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And for a long time, I thought maybe that was too late. I don't know, man. But anyway, I definitely wanted to get in here and say what's up to you guys. Maybe do some quick Q&A, chop it up with you guys, and take it from there, man. Hopefully everybody's doing good. We got Backyard Profit. Salute, Fight Family. Yes, sir. You know the vibes, man. What's good? We got Switch Boxing. Yo, what's good, champ? We got JC Rosas. What's going on, champ? We got my man Shema. What's good? Hey, we in the building. Nate the Great Day. I'm here. Yes, sir. Flex Guy. Yo, what's good? We got Calisthenics Believer. What's going on, champ? Psychological drills for being aggressive and not scared. Yes, sir. What's going on, man? This is a good time. Okay, we got one guy who said this is a good time. We got Rowdy R. Hey, Coach Anthony, what's going on? Tim, what's good, baby? I see you. This one, your petition. Okay, us guys just chatting it up, man. So yeah, man. Just wanted to go on here and chop it up with you guys, do some Q&A, just so you guys know what I got going on. So I brought back the Coach Anthony 2.0. The website right now is definitely much easier to navigate. You get to see everything on one page of what I got. Of course, we got all the courses. We got the Master Boxing Bundle, and then we got the Coach 2.0, Coach Anthony 2.0, something that I did before. I'm doing it again. And I already have a bunch of people who are signing up to it, and it's going to be super dope this time, guys. I'm bringing an app, everything. It's going to really help guys work toward their goals and really accomplish their goals. So that is what I am doing right now. If that's something that you are interested in, we can always set up a call and we can go over all the details. I have a personal conversation with you just like this, and we can see if it's the right fit for you. Also, I got a super deal on my website right now. The courses are only a third of the price. I basically got Black Friday deals on my website right now. Same deals that I did last year for Black Friday are currently on my website. So if you want to go ahead and save some money, I'm doing a flash sale. Go to the website, CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, man, and take advantage of the courses, man. They've been helping thousands of people. I've had over a couple of thousand people sign up to these courses, and I'm getting testimonials every day. It's really a no-brainer, guys. If you like my YouTube stuff, if you like anything that I'm doing, you're going to learn so much in those courses, man. And let me go ahead and say what's up to everybody else, man, who's in here, man. I work out and spar in the mornings. This time is perfect for real while I'm at work with my headphones. Okay, Cham, good to know, man. Good to know. This is a great time, man. I love these streams. What's the next new course coming out? So I think what I'm going to do is come out with the mitt work course. So people have been asking me for a long time for a mitt work course. So I'm going to go ahead and hopefully get that dropped in the very near future. And we're going to go ahead and start, do some mitt work, man. Teach you guys how to hold mitts the way I hold mitts, you know what I mean? Probably started off with, some fundamental basic stuff and then get into the good, fancy stuff and all that stuff. So the mitt work course is definitely, it might be a series of courses. I'm not sure. I haven't decided how I want to how I want to design the actual layout, but me teaching the skills is obviously going to be in it. But that's definitely that. And the 16 courses that I have right now, what's crazy is, oh, I know not you, Jimmy, but a lot of people ask me what's the next course, and they don't have all my courses. Right now I have 16 courses. So for the people out there who don't have all of my courses, I wouldn't be too worried about the next course. I'd be worried about going to the website and getting all the courses that I currently have. I mean, I got courses for everything, man. I mean, from the beginner stuff, the angles, the counter punching. I mean, we can literally watch professional fights and then go back to the courses and see why I taught the same exact thing that you're seeing in these professional fights. And it's really a no-brainer, man. Honestly, man. Like, it really is. Like, for you to get my master boxing bundle is like $31 a course when you grab them all at one time with the current sale that I got right now. It's really ridiculous, man. So that's what I highly suggest you guys do, man. Go to the website. If you're serious about this boxing education thing, you know what I'm saying? Tim asked for some pad work. Yeah, I know, Tim, but you know what? Me and you had our conversation on a text message, Tim. You said you was going to do something. I said I was going to do something, but you never did what you said you was going to do. So what you want me to do, man? What you want me to do, Tim? You gotta keep your word. Hey, Anthony, I'm a new viewer and new to boxing and want to compete in 1 year. 1 year's time, but I've only been practicing my 1-2. So any tips on where to progress from here? Well, if you want to compete, one of the best things you could do is find a gym that, where there's trainers who are actually getting guys prepared for competition. That's number one. If you can find a gym in your area where there's actually competitors, that's how you're going to progress, because you're going to get in an environment of competitors. The coaches will help you get prepared for sparring, and then next thing you know, they'll find you fights, and they'll help you with your USA passbook and all that type of stuff. I don't know if you're in the United States, but help you with your passbook and everything like that, and you can go ahead and get started competing. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not doing it that way, then what you need to do is go to my website and grab Build You From the Ground Up 1.0, Build You From the Ground Up 2.0, Footwork Drills, and Defensive Principles 101. Those are the 4 courses I recommend, okay, for a beginner to start with. Now, when you go ahead and go to the website and get the Master Boxing Bundle, you'll get an additional 12 courses on top of the 4 for the same price, basically, for 5 courses if you was to get it on sale right now. So that's what I'm trying to say. So that's what I mean. But what you need to do is start focusing on working the line, throwing your 1-2. Then you learn how to throw a hook properly. You learn how to throw the uppercut properly. You make sure your feet aren't coming too close and they're not too wide when you're stepping down the line. You step into the right without crossing your feet. You step into the left without crossing your feet. You see what I'm saying? These are the basic things you could do. Now, what's really good is what I started doing with the Coach Anthony 2.0 thing is I'm actually watching and critiquing you and sending you feedback and workouts and drills. And that's why the Coach Anthony 2.0 is my most expensive program. And you actually have to get on a call with me to even buy it. You can't just buy it on the website, but it's worth every penny because you're basically working with me and I'm giving you exactly what I see what's wrong with your stuff, because everybody got their own little things they can improve on. So that's the reason I started doing that. I want to give you guys access to me as much as possible. So anyway, man, I hope that helped, man. Just keep focusing on the 1-2, but continue to build off of that, because eventually you're going to need to throw hooks, uppercuts. You're going to need to know how to defend punches. You're going to need to learn to have some decent footwork. I mean, and if you want to do it in a year's time, you're going to need information. You're going to need information, bottom line. If you don't get any of my stuff, find a gym in the area that has coaches, sign up to the program, whatever it costs, pay it, because at the end of the day, you want to save time. You want to get right to this. You don't want to be out here, 2 years from today saying, Coach Anthony, I never fought 2 years ago, but I really want to do this, man. Like, just because you want to save a couple of $100 or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you gotta remember, man, time is our most precious commodity, and you don't want to waste time, man, because you only get older, life happens, etc., etc. That's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to waste no more time. It's crazy how long it took me in my life to understand the value of time, because me personally, I was a big procrastinator for a lot of years. I would procrastinate. And I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, yo, what am I waiting for? Like, am I just waiting to like die before I do some of the stuff that I want to do? You see what I'm saying? Like, so you can't procrastinate, man. You got to get to it. You got to invest. You got to save time. So how do you save time? You go to people who have already went down the path that you're trying to go. You get their information. You pay the money. You get it done. You get the stuff done, and then you accomplish your goals. You know what I mean? So again, find a gym or invest into my courses. I got all 16 and they're worth it twice over. Thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that without me asking you to say that. Because a lot of the times I think that people are hesitant because they believe that they cannot learn boxing online. They believe they can't learn it online. And it's crazy because you really can. I mean, look, we're interacting right now. I say, yo, throw a jab. I want you to keep your hand a little higher than your right. Like, you can't figure that out, right? If I say, rotate that, right? You can't figure that out. You see what I'm saying? So imagine you got a video, full detail. All you have to do is actually apply the stuff that I'm teaching. Go into the mirror, look at yourself, go to the heavy bag, join the private community, post your training. Let me help you critique. Ask me questions. You got people in my community that ask questions, and then you got others that just like to post their journey. If you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. You can ask anybody in here who's from my community. If you ask a question, I'm going to answer it. If you don't ask me a question and you just post your stuff, then I'm going to like it. I'm going to support you because at the end of the day, you're trying to do something positive. And that's, you know, get in shape and learn the craft of boxing, something that has given us all purpose and drive. You know what I mean? It's given me a career. As when I was a younger guy, it gave me something to look forward to. I remember being younger and people knew me as the boxer, and it just gave me this feeling like, yeah, I'm the boxer. Like, I am somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, the boxer, right? And now I'm the coach. Now I'm teaching, right? It's like boxing is so much deeper than actually competing. Boxing is so much deeper than actually competing, man. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, I've been doing this so many years. Man. And I still do it because it's for me. I could be doing other stuff, man. But I choose to do boxing. Let me go ahead and get this link onto my Instagram real quick. Maybe I can get a few of my Instagram family to get in here and come chop it up with us, man. So hold up. Give me 1 second, guys. We are live right now. So make sure you guys pull up. And we're going to continue getting into these questions, guys. What's some of the best things to work on to be a skilled inside fighter? Okay, well, again, I got a whole course, how to box on the inside, right? But the main thing you want to do is you don't want to just be on the inside with no plan. You got to have a plan when you're on the inside. You know what I mean? First of all, you can't be scared of impact. You got to be okay with feeling shots on the shoulders, feeling shots on the arms. You got to have a good base under you, a good stance under you, okay? You got to be willing to exchange, you know? You still got to move your head and move your upper body and your torso on the inside. You feel me? You got to know how to smother. You got to know how to do certain things. I literally got a whole course called How to Box on the Inside. Okay, you can get it right now on my website for 1/3 of the price. Okay, and me and Fast Eddie Chambers go over everything. We go over everything that you're going to need to know to fight on the inside. I can't sit here and give you a whole course as I'm sitting behind a desk. I mean, you do still need some demonstrations and stuff like that. But for the most part, you can't be afraid. You know what I mean? A lot of people are afraid on the inside and they panic. And you don't want to panic on the inside. You want to stay calm on the inside. You want to stay relaxed on the inside, all while at the same time being firm and being confident and being willing. You have to be willing to exchange, willing to let your hands go, willing to absorb some punches on your gloves and on your elbows. And once you do it a few times and you get more confident, you're going to improve. Just like sparring, basic sparring, like you're going to improve, but you have to go through that battle that you're going to go through in the beginning. It's not going to be freaking fun in the very beginning. You know what I mean? It's going to be a little nerve-wracking. You know, some guys are naturals at the inside. They just feel better there. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you have to learn the skills, because if you're just on the inside with no thought, you know, there's a good chance you're going to be getting hit with shots and you're not going to know why you're getting hit with those shots. You know what I mean? Yo, what up, Coach Emil here? Finally made it to your live. Yeah, man, I'm doing the live at a different time today. I'm doing the live a little earlier. I woke up early today. I woke up motivated. I've been posting on Instagram all day. And I was like, you know what? I woke up this morning. I did a few coaching calls with some of the members from my new 2.0 program. I did some strategy calls with people that were interested in signing up. I did a Q&A on my story on Instagram. I did a live stream on my Instagram, and now I'm doing a live stream here, guys. I'm working. Not to add, you know, I went to the gym. I worked out. You know what I mean? I did all types of stuff today, guys. So I'm just woke up today motivated, trying to keep this energy going. And I said, you know what? I don't want to do this live at like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night when I'm already starting to come down, because I woke up at like 6:30 a.m. I know you're in a different time, but I want to do it now. You know, it's 7 p.m. I still got some energy. So, yeah. Yo, Coach, please give me something to deal with. I'm not going to quit boxing because please give me something to deal with. I'm not going to quit boxing because I'm scared. Not sure what you mean. Oh, Coach, give me something to deal with fear. I'm trying to read it on the screen, and it's right here. I could have read it easier. Coach, give me something to deal with fear. Okay, well, you know, fear is one of those things that you can look at fear from every angle. And, you know, there's an old saying, once you master something, you understand everything. And for me, boxing is the one thing that I always could like give a metaphor for life with, right? So you fear what you don't understand. You fear what you don't know, right? So the reason why you're fearful boxing is because you don't know how good you are yet. You're unsure of yourself. You're unsure what you can deal with. And the thought of getting hurt or the thought of getting nervous in front of a bunch of people or getting embarrassed is probably what's scaring you the most. And there's only one way to get over that fear, and that is to actually do it. If you're afraid to speak publicly, the only way to get over the fear is to speak publicly, right? So we always have to face our fears at one point or another if we want to overcome it. If we do not face our fears, which means battle it head on, you're always going to be fearful. That's the crazy thing about fear. You know, fear is one of those things that we all deal with. I deal with fear in different areas. You know, I don't fear in boxing so much, but there's other things that I'm fearful of, you know what I mean? And I try to challenge myself to face those things, you know what I mean? So I just think that us as human beings, this is a natural instinct to protect ourselves from something we don't know. If we don't know something, we naturally are fearful because that's our natural way of protecting ourselves by being afraid. So we don't go there because we're afraid. But if you really want something, really want something, you really want to get good at something, the only way you're ever going to get good at it is if you face your fears. So at some point, you got to get in the mix, man. And that's really for your coach to guide you. That's really for your coach to guide you. I mean, you can't do it by yourself. You need somebody who's going to guide you, somebody who's going to put the right sparring partners in front of you, give you the right drills to work on, things of that nature. So when it happens in real speed, real time, you've already conditioned yourself. It's kind of like training wheels on a bicycle. You know, you put the training wheels on, eventually you take them off. That's the same way you need to approach boxing, because if you just jump right in and get hurt, you're going to be fearful forever. You may never overcome it. Is there an easy way to find boxing gyms near me? Yeah, it's called Google. Google, champ. Boxing gyms near me. Try Google. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's got to be the fear. That's got to be the number one fear. The fear of never trying should be your number one fear, because guess what? You got to live with that regret. You know what I mean? You're the one who got to live with that regret, man. You know, I never overcame that. I never faced that. Damn. You know, imagine wanting to talk to somebody who you find attractive and you're too scared to say something. And then some other guy comes up and grabs your girl, or the girl that should have been your girl, or the guy that should have been your guy. If there's ladies in here, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he takes her off and they get married. And then you meet them like 5 years later and you're like, she's like, you know, I thought you were cute, but you never said nothing to me. So I just went with him and look, we got married and we love each other now. And you're just like, what? You thought I look, you lost your girl to a guy because you were too scared to say something. You see what I'm saying? That happens all the time. You feel me? It's the person who's not scared. You know what I mean? You see that guy who, you know, does everything you wish you would have did. And it ain't because he's better than you. It's because he ain't got the fear to do it, man. You know what I mean? He ain't got the fear to commit. He ain't got the fear to invest a couple of dollars and get the courses, because he knows he's going to apply what he learns. He's not scared to lose $400. Oh, if the $400, what happens if these courses don't work? What am I going to do now? Is it the end of the world? I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do the work. You feel what I'm saying? So you can't have fear. You can't have fear, man. You got to actually do it. Just do it, man. Nike had it figured out a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Just do it, man. And as you continue to do stuff, the lessons come as you're doing it. You learn more by actually doing it than not doing it and reading books and stuff like that. Like you're better off learning, applying, making a mistake, learning, applying, than learning, and never applying. And then, or I'm going to learn for 2 years and then I'm going to start. No. You learn something and you start. You learn something and you start. You learn how to throw the jab today, you start working on the jab today. You learn how to throw the right hand tomorrow, you start working on the right hand tomorrow. And then you just continue to refine, continue to fix it. You don't wait till you learn how to throw a jab, cross, hook, uppercut, footwork, defense, counter punching, inside fighting, outside fighting, and then start working your jab. Oh, I'm going to start learning once I learn everything, then I'm going to start. That's not how the game go, man. So you just got to get going. You're going to learn as you go. How to practice alone and be better at it, coach, because I can't manage time of a 9-hour job. Listen, champ, there's 24 hours in a day. 24 hours a day. Just give me 1 hour. Can you give me 1 hour a day? 3 times a week? Can you do that? Three hours a week? You see what I'm saying? You could do it. You could do it, man. You could do it. All right? All you got to do is find 1 hour a day. Matter of fact, find 20 minutes 3 times a day for me. 20 minutes, get back to work. 20 minutes, do something else. 20 minutes, do something else. You can figure out a way if you're creative and if you really want this to give me 1 hour a day. Like, that's really not even a lot of hours. I used to work 15 hours 12 hours for all of my 20s, man. All of my 20s, I worked like so many hours, and I still went to the gym, sparred and everything, and still had time to go home and play video games. Like, you can't tell me that 9 hours is too much for you to achieve your goals, man. Are you serious right now, champ? Come on, man. Stop playing. You playing right now. You looking for excuses. What's your Instagram? I got to head out. I like what I'm hearing. I will check you out, Coach. Coach Anthony, at Coach Anthony, champ. At Coach Anthony. You'll know it's me when you find it on the search bar, man. At Coach Anthony. What's the best way to train defense? With drills, man. Partner drills. Like in my course, Driller Make Killers, right? I got a drill where me and Eddie Chambers are together, and he'll throw a jab, I'll catch it. I'll throw a jab, he'll catch it. You know, things like that. He throw a 1-2 catch block, I throw a 1-2 catch block, add the hook in there, then add the slips, add the rolls, right? That's how you train defense with a partner. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a two-man sport. You need to box somebody else. So if you're doing this for something more than fitness, you need that second person. Now, if you don't care and you're only doing this for fitness, then you don't need to focus so much on the defensive part with a partner. You can hit the bag, work your head movement, and shadow box the blocking, right? But if you really want the defense, if you really want to know that you can defend punches coming back, because you could throw punches all day. What happens when they come back? You need a partner, because you got to get the timing down. You got to get the speed down. You got to get comfortable with feeling the shot. You know what I mean? I blocked so many left hooks in my life that when a left hook comes at me now, I just block that shit. When I put my hand up, I'm blocking it. You might catch me with a hook, but that's because my hand didn't come up. But if my hand is there, boom, right on the arm, right here, I'm going to catch it. Because I blocked so many hooks in my life, man. I lost count. Thousands of left hooks in 20 years. See what I'm saying? So that's my whole point. You have to at some point start to apply this stuff, and you need a partner for defense. Definitely for defense. Now, there's things you could do, like hit a double M bag, a reflex, a maze bag, and work on your head movement. You can visualize, and you can, bring your hands up and shadow box and step back and all that stuff. And that's great, but you still really want to hone it in. You need to do drills, and then you need to spar. And then when you start to spar and real stuff happens where it's not simulated, you actually have to pick up on the patterns. Now you're really becoming a fighter. And that's when your defense is going to develop. But there's only one way to get there, and that's to start. Start with learning the proper fundamentals. Learn with properly learning the right ways to go ahead and block your punches properly. Don't be one of these guys that just try to figure this shit out on your own. You'll be doing this shit for 3-4 years, and you could have been way further along. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to do that. You know what I mean? You want to go right. Give me the good information right now so I can get going right now. That's where I'm at in my life. I ain't wasting my time with nothing. Who got the answers? You got the answers? Thank you. Let me get that. How much you want for the answers? Thanks, bro. I'm putting it right to work. Because if I go ahead and, you know what, I'm going to save $50 here. I'm not going to play that trainer. That trainer's charging $100 an hour. Hell no, I ain't paying him. Okay, cool. Don't pay him. Go ahead. Don't pay him. But in a year's time, you'll be like, damn, I should have just paid that motherfucker. I would have learned some shit by now. You see what I'm saying? Like, guys, we have to really, really, really think about all of these things when we're trying to learn how to box on the internet. Invest into online training, invest into real life training, but invest into your education, and then apply. Don't be a guy who just learns and doesn't do nothing. Don't be a guy who's, I don't have nobody to do the drills with. You ain't got nobody to do the drills with. Find a boxing gym. There's plenty of people there doing the same thing you're trying to do. There's no boxing gyms in my area. Okay, cool. Do you have somebody you know that might be okay with, you know, throwing some punches at you? Like when y'all just chilling, like find a friend. Tell your girl, tell your friend, tell your brother, yo, man, do me a favor, bro. Can you just throw these punches at me, man? I know you're busy, like scrolling on your phone, looking on Instagram, but like, here's some gloves, bro. Can you just like throw a couple of punches at me, man? 5-10 minutes, man. You never know. That person might be like, yo, this is fun. Yo, I want to start learning this too. Right? Like, be creative, man. But you could do this. You could do this. How long does it take before the boxing stance feel normal? My trainer says that my stance looks mechanical. Well, champ, you've already invested into all my courses. Why don't we get on the call? All right. And we can go ahead and talk about the 2.0. And I can see how I can help you further online, because at the end of the day, I can't help you until I see your stance. There might be one little thing I tell you that might change everything for you that you might not realize you're doing. So if you're cool with that, man, just hit me up in the community or shoot me a DM on Instagram when we get out of here and we can set something up. Because at the end of the day, I have to see it. I can't just like tell you why you're feeling uncomfortable, because I feel perfectly comfortable in my boxing stance. I feel great. So it's all about maybe you're doing something wrong and I just have to see it. Joseph Johnson, what's up, Coach? And what's going on, champ? Speaking facts, I appreciate you. Knowledge is power. Yes, sir. Facebook user, who is this, man? Say your name, because I hate when I do live streams and it just says Facebook user, man. I don't know who I'm talking to. But what's up, champ? Please explain. Sorry, man. Thank you for the super chat, man. I know I was kind of like stuck on some questions up there, but I got to you. Please explain timing in boxing sense. I constantly hear people throw out the word that boxing say they have good time. Well, timing is very simple, man. It's exactly what it sounds like. You know, you're timing your punches at the right time. You know, let's just say I throw a right hand at you. As you're bringing your hand back, that's when I shoot the hook. You know what I'm saying? Or you throw a right hand at me and I shoulder roll it, and then as soon as your hand's coming back, that's when I throw the uppercut or the straight right hand. It's all timing. You know, if I'm throwing a jab and you're trying to slip it, but I catch you as you're trying to slip, pop, I got you. So timing, how do you get timing? Practice, sparring, heavy bag work, shadow boxing, mitt work, like the combination of the full program is how you get timing. Number one is sparring. I mean, if you can just spar, you're going to get your timing down better than anything, because you actually have to learn to pick up on patterns. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like a video game if you think about it. Like, you're trying to hit something and you're missing, but eventually your eyes get sharper. You get that connection with your brain and pop, you got it. But in the first couple of times you do it, like, damn, that was hard, man. And then, you know, eventually you get it. But, you know, timing, some people have better timing than other people. Some people punch harder than other people. Some people are faster than other people. That's another thing you got to remember. Your timing might not be as good as another person's timing, but you might be when you do land your shots, they might land harder, or you might just naturally have speed, or, you know, naturally have good reflexes. So we all have our natural attributes, you know what I mean? And you just have to know what those are. But timing at the end of the day is as simple as it sounds, man. Being able to time punches. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Champ 316. I appreciate you, man. Are you getting a new number? I hit the link. I don't think it worked. Eventually I will get a new number, but for those of you out there who don't have it, text me at 215-709-5437. I'm gonna send out that form a few more times, champ. I'm not getting rid of this number just yet, but eventually I will. But I want you to go ahead and just fill out the form. If you already got the form, if I send out the form again and you already got the form, just, disregard it. You ain't got to keep on. But I'm mass texting that out. I'm not like individually sending that to everybody. That's too much. So don't trip. But I need you guys to grab my number now. So if I do make any changes, the people who are in here who don't have my number, you guys will get it, right? What do? I typically tell you when I'm going live with this number right here. I answer questions when I can. People do ask me questions. I give free game all the time. So I'll reply to a text. I don't always, reply because there's too many to come through. But if I get around to it and I can, I'll reply to it. But for the most part, I'm alerting people with what I got going on. If I'm doing, sometimes I get crazy and I give out super special deals only for the people who got my number. I don't even promote it on the website. I mean, I've done all types of stuff over the years. So having my number is very beneficial for you if you appreciate my content, if you appreciate my work, and it's something that you want to just keep up with. That's what my number is for. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to text you every freaking day. I'm not going to try to sell you something every day, but I will keep you updated and in the loop of what's going on with what I got going on. So if you're interested, grab my number 215-709-5437. And what I need you to do is shoot me a text now and say, yo, coach, I was on your live stream, and I'll reply to you. Okay, I'll reply to you. I'll say, yo, appreciate you for coming to my live stream. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure I appreciate, I let you know that I acknowledge you and I know you got my number. You know what I mean? So grab the number, guys. It's only going to benefit you guys if you appreciate online boxing training for sure. What up, coach? What's going on, champ? How do you feel about Clarissa Shields saying she can outbox Keith Thurman? Man, Clarissa Shields done got punched in the head too many times. She needs to chill. That's my opinion on that. When you're training Raymond Ford, how much time do you allow him on the heavy bag, mid shadow box and double end? We change it. We change it up. We don't have one set parameter. When I'm training my professionals, we don't have one set parameter. I basically gauge it off of how the camp is going. When you're training a fighter in real life, for you guys out there who don't know, at least this is how I do it. It's a lot of intuitive training, right? So I don't know if you guys ever heard of intuitive eating, intuitive workouts. That's basically you go with your intuition, right? So what it means is I don't necessarily stay within these parameters of we're only doing this, we're only doing this. I gauge it with my eyes. I'm like that chef who can whip up a dish without having the measurements necessarily. Okay, I got a cup. Okay, I got this. Like, I'm the type of chef that I could see it and throw the ingredients in, taste it, say, nah, that needs to taste different. Boom, 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 taste it again, got it. You see what I'm saying? And that comes with years and years of experience. Okay, so when I'm working with a guy like Raymond Ford, I'm paying attention to his sparring. I'm paying attention to his performance. I'm paying attention to how he's, if he's looking sluggish or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying attention to what we did the day before. Okay. If he has a strength and conditioning coach involved, I'm paying attention to what the strength and conditioning coach had him do. His strength and conditioning coach has to be in the same line as his trainers. Okay. So these are the things I'm looking at when I'm working with a fighter to determine how much work. Because what if he worked legs the day before with a strength and conditioning coach, and then the next day he comes in and I'm like, yo, I want you to do squats, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, he just killed his legs yesterday. You gonna kill his legs again? No, we need to recover him. You see what I'm saying? Or if he had a really hard sparring day the day before, what am I gonna do? Spar him again the next day? No, right? He had a hard sparring day. We might take 2 or 3 days off. We might take the rest of the week off if the sparring was extremely difficult. You know what I mean? Because you got to understand that the body needs to heal. So I know what you're asking me. You're not asking me all of that. You're asking me more so about the heavy bag. We run the routine, and I just kind of gauge it by the day. He might do 8 rounds on the bag one day, He might do 10 rounds on the bag one day. He might do 6 rounds on the mitts and 6 rounds on the bag one day. He might get no mitt work and only do the bag one day. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends. What up, Coach? What's going on, champ? Coach Anthony, you are the man. Your work is appreciated here in Iran. We don't have coaches here. Learned a lot from you and Fast Eddie Chambers. Much appreciated, man. Thank you, man. I hope you guys can do me a favor, man. Press the like button if you guys are getting value from this. Okay, share this with a friend who you think might get value from this. You know what I mean? My goal is to help as many people as I can online, whether it's through my YouTube channel, my courses, my Coach Anthony 2.0 program, my Instagram. My goal is to help as many people as I can through boxing, because boxing is what helped me. Okay, boxing has helped me have a career. Okay, boxing has helped me defend myself. It taught me hard work, perseverance. You see what I'm saying? Boxing has been the best thing that I could say, one of the best things outside of having my daughter, which I just had recently. Okay, and you know, just being an honorable man. But boxing as a whole has just been a fantastic journey for me, and I just hope that all of you guys can experience how beautiful boxing really is. You know what I mean? And experience at a deeper level how beautiful boxing is, how it's not just about jabs, crossings, and hooks, man. These are life lessons, okay? And you're going to go through some tough stuff in your life, and if you boxed, you're going to be able to grab lessons you learn from boxing on how to deal with some of those life lessons. You feel me? So my goal is to help as many people as I can with this, and hopefully I'm doing a good job. Hopefully you guys are getting some value from this. What do you think of Anyway, man? When I tell you that kid is fantastic, fantastic, man. I mean, I started, you know, it's kind of crazy because I knew who he was. I've heard the stories, but I never watched him. Unfortunately, Coach Anthony has not been the best student of fighters in recent years. I kind of became a casual, only looking at the guys who are in your face. But anyway, kind of flew under the radar. And when I actually got a chance to watch his fight against Stephen Fulton, and I seen how he dominated, I went back and started watching his other fights, like the ones he had with Nonito Donaire and stuff like that. And I was just like, holy smokes, like this kid is talented, like super talented. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, yeah. You know, people are just jumping on the bandwagon because he beat Stephen Fulton. No, it's not that at all. I ain't jumping on no bandwagon because he beat Stephen Fulton. What I'm seeing is a super duper talented fighter who does things that fighters don't do. He's super sharp. He got good power. He's super fast. He got good footwork, good defense. The kid could do it all. So he is the real deal, man. Real talk. He is the real deal. My man's came back from boxing overseas. He's trying to turn pro. Any tips or things to look out for so he doesn't get taken advantage of, et cetera, et cetera? Well, he just needs his team, man. He needs a good team. If he has a manager, that's a plus. You know, he needs a team. He needs a manager, you know, and, you know, so he's not just getting thrown in there as a B-side opponent. So, you know what I mean? That's really it, man. You know, boxing's one of those games where you need the right people around you. You can't just go out there and do it by yourself. You need a team. I'm telling you right now, in boxing, you need a team. You need somebody who is good with finances. You need somebody who's good with training. You obviously need a good trainer. You know what I mean? And hopefully you can get, you know, a manager, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know. Do you recommend fighting both stances like Crawford? Should we fighters learn both stances or just focus on one? You know what? It's a great question because I wasn't taught to learn both stances. I was taught to learn the stance that you're comfortable, you know, your dominant hand in the rear, and that's it. But if you have the ability to learn both stances, why not? That's what I say. I say, why not? Especially if you could be equally as good at it. But I would start with my dominant hand in the rear. That's where I would start at. Okay. And the reason I've talked about this many, many times, the reason why we keep the dominant hand in the rear and not in the lead is because it's a 2-3-to-1 ratio when you're boxing. Okay. So if I throw a double jab right hand, that's a 2-to-1 ratio. If I throw a 1-3-2, that's a 2-to-1 ratio. If I'm on the inside and I go left hook high, left hook low, left hook uppercut, that's 3 shots with my lead hand before I threw the power hand. So the reason I'm saying that is in training, hitting the heavy bag, this is your weak hand, but it becomes stronger because you're using it more than your dominant hand. This hand's already strong. But if you go ahead and you put this hand here in the front and you're doubling up and you're doubling up and you're doing all the things you would do with your lead hand, this hand's going to get really strong and this hand is going to become weaker. So my thing would be strengthen this by making your left hand, if you're a righty, all right, develop this. Get this fully developed and then work on switching after some time. You see what I'm saying? That's how I would do it for the imbalances, you know what I'm saying, that you're going to have, because people become one-handed fighters when they don't, you know what I mean? And you got to remember, man, boxing's a journey. So you can focus on being orthodox for the first 3 years and never touch southpaw and then decide to start working with your southpaw later, you know? So Eddie Chambers, example, he's in my courses. He does a lot of stuff southpaw now. He didn't start boxing southpaw till he retired. Well, you know, he's not retired, but, you know, to me, he's retired because he's not active. And Eddie can box southpaw pretty damn good. He didn't start till he was already done. You see what I'm saying? So you don't got to wait that long, obviously, but, you know, work on it, play with it. You know what I'm saying? Pablo, thank you for the super chat. What do you think about timing? What do you think about time and beat speed? I feel like sometimes it's hard and difficult to speed really fast. I mean, yes, timing does beat speed, but the timing has to also be effective, right? So like if I time your hook, if I time your quick hands, but my shot is weak, you're going to eat right through that. But if you got quick hands and I time a hard shot, boom, I might knock you the hell out. So the timing has to have power as well. It has to have crack to get the speedy guy to respect you. Because if you're not getting respect with your timing, they're going to just walk right over you. You got to, at some point, earn respect. So you got to make sure that you're timing shots that are effective. Effective shots being timed can beat speed. But if you are simply just you're just timing shots, if they're ineffective, the speedier guys is going to not respect it, and he's just going to let more punches go. Oh, and for the record, for everybody who has my courses for that southpaw question, you know all my courses are mirrored in southpaw. So you can always work on your orthodox and then watch the southpaw version and then just work on it from orthodox. You don't got to watch how to box the opposite stance, champ. You can actually work on build you from the ground on 1.0. Just go scroll down to the southpaw version. Every single one of my courses has the same videos that are orthodox in southpaw for that purpose. So there's nobody's left out. And if you want to take full advantage, you'll just go ahead and watch those southpaw videos as well. And then how to box the opposite stances when you're dealing with a righty or you're dealing with a lefty, so you can know the tactics. But the techniques can be taught on every single course. Facts, coach. Keep up. Mill City, what's good, man? You want to come in here and talk to me for a few minutes? Hit that StreamYard link, my guy. I'm afraid if I start both stances, I will not master any stance. So that's what I mean. I think you got the right idea. Work on one stance for a while, get good at it, develop it, and then move on to the next stance. You don't have to do both stances at one time, man. You don't got to rush this. You don't got to rush this process, my boy. You don't got to rush it. Take your time. Slow is fast in this sport. Slow is fast. Remember that. Take your time. Take your time. You know what I mean? And then you will eventually wake up one day and be like, damn, yeah, I didn't know I knew how to do this. It just happens, bro.
Hey, what's up, Coach?
Yo. We got my boy Mel City in the building, man. How you doing, my guy? You showed up to my YouTube, man.
That's right. Man, that's how I met you, to be honest with you. That's how I discovered you.
Oh, that's how you discovered me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So what's up, man? What you got going on? First, let the people know what you do for those who's in here who might not be familiar with your work.
Right. Well, I'm a boxing reporter, Mill City Boxing Podcast. I talk to great coaches like, Coach Anthony, and also the high level pro boxing media, all the boxers that are really, doing something on TV right now, amateurs, high level amateurs, prospects, champions, you name it. I love the sport, and I want to continue to report all the great news that's going on.
Yeah, man, I've seen you, man. I've seen you talk to some heavy hitters, man. I was like, damn, my boys, you hustling. You out there, you getting these guys on your live streams and stuff. How's the YouTube channel going? And let people know your YouTube channel and your Instagram and everything like that.
Right. So, thank you, Coach. My YouTube is Mill City Boxing, and my Instagram is Mill City Boxing Podcast. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk to you about what you thought about this week. To be honest with you, Stephen Fulton and Inoue on Tuesday, we got like a double whammy, and then obviously this great fight on Saturday. I mean, what are your thoughts on both of the fights?
Beautiful performances by both champions who dominated their fights. I mean, Inoue, I'm so impressed with that kid. I'm an instant fan. And like somebody said in the chat, he's been a pound for pound for a long time. Unfortunately, I wasn't even paying attention to the kid. I would just hear his name and be like, oh, yeah, they got that kid. But I never sat down and was like, yo, let me watch Inoue. You see what I'm saying? Now, you better believe when I hear his name, I'll be tuning in to Inoue. You know what I mean? He looked fantastic. He's looked fantastic leading up to this fight. Stephen Fulton, tip my hat to him. You know what I mean? Local guy. I've worked with Stephen in the past a few times. He's a good kid, a great champion himself. But he went up against a fighter who is, these are like fighters that come along every so often. Guys like Inoue, guys like Terrence Crawford, guys like Floyd Mayweather, guys like Shakur Stevenson, guys like, Javante Davis. I mean, these are come around once in a while type guys, guys like Tyson Fury. Like, you'll be talking about these guys forever. And Inoue is one of those guys, and Terrence Crawford is one of those guys. I mean, Terrence Crawford, what can you say about Terrence Crawford? I mean, he looks so phenomenal that people are still talking about that fight today. Usually after the weekend, people are done talking about a fight. I mean, on my Instagram today, people are still praising. He had Farrakhan talking about his fight. I mean, Terrence Crawford looked so damn good in the fight, bro. It's unbelievable how great he looked. I knew he was going to win. I didn't know he was going to win like that. But he showcased a great jab, good defense, great fundamentals, good timing, strength, everything. Everything you could want as a coach and a fighter, Terrence Crawford demonstrated, and so did Inoue.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people were talking about that number one pound for pound spot. And, a lot of people was like, it's going to be hard to match that performance with Inoue. And next thing you know, it definitely matched for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, both of those fights were supposed to be competitive. Let's be honest. Stephen Fulton was supposed to be competitive, and so was Inoue, and neither one of those guys. I mean, and so was Errol Spence, and neither one of those guys turned out to be competitive. And you can make excuses for both guys, right? You got Stephen Fulton. He went to the other side of the country, other side of the world, You know, maybe he wasn't fully acclimated to Japan, and maybe he was nervous fighting in Japan, and these things. But at the end of the day, you're a champion. That's what it is. And he got dominated. Same thing with Errol Spence. You know, he's had car accidents in the past, and people said that he looked like he was a little high walking into the ring, and he looked drained and stuff. Possibility, but at the end of the day, he looked great in his last two performances that happened after his car accident. And he took this fight. He was speaking very confidently in this fight. He knew what was at stake. And he never made the proper adjustments in the fight. So, in my personal opinion, you can stretch it and try to make excuses for those guys, but hey, man, it is what it is. You know, you got to just accept that loss, take it on the chin, and move forward, because you guys knew what it was when you were walking into this fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I'm pretty sure just by like your boxing knowledge, you probably was figuring that Crawford was gonna win the fight. You just didn't know. Nobody really kind of knew, besides certain people, that it was gonna be one-sided like that. Like I interviewed almost so many different people. I think James Toney was the only one that told me that it was gonna end up being like that. You know. But a great, like, what would you have to say? Your takeaways, your pros and cons, your X's and O's for both of those fights.
I mean, there's nothing I could really say when it comes to the winners. The winners did everything right. They looked so great that if I was to try to critique it, I'm literally being a hater, and I'm just looking for something to say. The truth is, they look fantastic. The losers who lost the fight, they just need to understand that this is a sport, and take it back to the drawing board, and don't stop believing in yourself because you had a bad day. I mean, professional fighters get beat up in the gym like that sometimes, and those same fighters will come back and look fantastic on fight night. I've seen it where a fighter that everybody thinks is invincible gets touched up in the gym, and you're not so sure how invincible he is, and then he goes in the fight and he looks good. Or sometimes he'll spar that same person and look great that the week after that he got whooped by that guy, he actually whoops the guy who whooped him. So my whole point of saying that is, Errol Spence got, really, really beat badly, I should say, in this fight against Crawford, but there could have been a factor of reasons, and he had a very bad day, and it just so happened to be on fight day, and that's what sucks about boxing. There's no do-overs. You lose, you take the L, and it's in front of the public, but that same ass whooping could have happened in the gym. Crawford might have got his ass whooped like that in the gym, and we just don't know about it. So, that's my whole point. So my thing is, for the fighter who had the bad day, chalk it up, get back to the drawing board, don't stop believing in yourself, and that's all you could really do.
Now, leading up to the Crawford fight, not to throw any shade on Derek James and all, but would you have thrown in the towel a little earlier?
It's hard to say. It depends how he would have been looking coming back to the corner. I would have to look in my fighter's eyes and see how his eyes look, because one thing that's very difficult in those moments is, you got a true competitor, a true warrior, a champion. I mean, at the end of the day, Errol Spence is a champion, man, like a real champion. And you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. You want to give him that puncher's chance. You want to give him a chance to turn things around. We've seen fighters turn things around in the past in fights where they were getting their ass whooped. So the only way I would stop the fight is if, when I'm trying to communicate, if I see something in his eyes that are telling me like, bro, this is life or death now, then I'll call it. I'll say, nah, bro, I see something in your eyes. I know you want to fight, but I got to stop this. But if I don't see that in his eyes, I might have risked it, you know what I mean? Because I know the kind of fighter I got in front of me. So it's very hard in those clutch situations to always make the right decision, because you just don't know. It's boxing, So I don't want to criticize Derek James because he knows his guy. You feel me?
100%. 100%. Now, going off of a rematch, do you believe that this year, December, is too soon to be able to make those proper adjustments? Or do you believe that Terrence Crawford kind of got his number? And he
Yeah, I
can't.
don't. If I was handling Errol Spence, I'd leave that fight alone. I mean, I understand that his ego. I mean, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Errol Spence, as great as a fighter as he is, I don't know what else I want to see from him. I don't know what else I want to see from him. Like, he's dominated everybody. We wanted to see him fight the best fighter. He lost. I'm kind of cool with his career. Like, I'm not forcing him to retire, but at this point, I'm like, what else do I need to see from Errol Spence? I've already seen what I needed to see. He fought the best. I thought he was the other best. He lost, and I'm okay with that. And I think that he should be okay with that. Like, there's nobody else in the division that I am interested in seeing him fight. You feel me? So for me, it's like, to fight Terrence Crawford again, I'm sure he's gonna do it because he's a warrior. I'm sure there's gonna be some good money for it. But it's a very difficult fight for him, man. I just think that Terrence Crawford is the best fighter. Up right now at this point, is the best fighter in the division, and I don't think Errol Spence's style matches well with him at all. I don't think it matches well with him. I think he's too flat-footed. He stands in front of his opponent too long. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't have any other options. And that's why, if you go back to my live stream that I did before the fight, that was my biggest reason why I picked Terrence Crawford. I said Errol Spence only has one way to win, where Terrence Crawford has a multitude of ways he could win. He could go orthodox. He can go southpaw. He could punch. He could box. He's elusive. He had too many tools in the toolbox, man.
Yeah, 100%. Would you like to see Boots mix it up with some of those guys, or?
Oh, absolutely. The only reason I didn't mention Boots as the best in the division is because Boots hasn't fought nobody to be the best in the division. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the eye test, he's arguably the best in the division on the eye test. But what about the chin test? I don't know yet. Because one thing about him and Terrence Crawford is they're both going to be landing some freaking punches on each other. Whose chin is going to hold up is what that fight's going to come down to. Now, athletic-wise, Boots is as athletic, if not more athletic, than any fighter in the division. He can switch. He got great punching power. I mean, between us and this live stream right now, he's knocking out heavyweights in the gym. So Boots is a different kind of kid, but we don't know what he's willing to endure yet. We don't know because he doesn't get hit. But Terrence Crawford is going to hit him. And that's what I'm interested to see. What happens when you fight a guy who punches back, a guy who's going to land the punches he's throwing back? I don't know yet. Well, who would I be rooting for? I'm rooting for Boots, because obviously if you're from Philly and I know you and I shook your hand, I got to root for you. But at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford and him is two special fighters. That fight is so competitive, man. It's ridiculous how interesting that fight would be, man. I just don't know. Is youth versus experience. That's what that fight comes down to. Who do you like? Do you like the youthful guy, or do you like the veteran guy? You know what I mean? And either guy could win. It just depends on the night.
100%. I feel like in that fight is a closer fight than the Spence fight. I think that there's a big skill gap between Spence and those two guys. And I think it has to do with, picking up the gloves at 6 years old. Being able to have that experience, and we do say that Boots hasn't been in there with some of those notable names and stuff like that, but he's a gym rat. And that's the only fight I want to see at welterweight. Like, when we talk about the best fight at welterweight. But in the same time, I might have to say that Boots got a better defense than Crawford. I think that Crawford, I was talking about this on my other podcast, that Crawford has the ability, like a home run hitter in Major League, that the eye and hand coordination is like no other. He throws punches in traffic. And it's amazing to see someone that is willing to take that risk and win the majority of the time. So he hasn't really needed to be able to show his defense. Does he have defense? Yeah. But that's definitely the fight that I would love to see, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Boots does everything that Crawford does prettier, looks better. Um, but Crawford can do everything Boots can do as well. I think he does a little bit slower, but I just don't know, man. I mean, after what we saw this weekend, it's hard to bet against them. It's hard to bet. It's hard to bet against them. Now, I'm not saying that like I'm jumping ship. I'm just saying that like anybody who's so confident in one guy winning that fight, to me, it's just being biased. It's just being a biased fan, bro. Like if you're a Boots fan and you're like, oh yeah, Boots is gonna cook Terrence Crawford, you're just talking. And if you're a Crawford fan and you're saying, oh, he's gonna cook Boots, you're just talking, bro. Like you guys can't say that. Both of these guys are phenomenal. I haven't seen a fighter as good as Boots in freaking I don't know how long. Maybe since Floyd Mayweather type dude. You know what I mean? And the same thing goes with Terrence Crawford. Like they're both just on top of their game, bro. They're both on top of the game. One guy's got experience. One guy needs more experience to get the credibility. He's got the skills. He just needs the opponents to prove it. You know what I'm saying?
So if you had to play matchmaker, when would you like to see that fight?
Well, listen, if I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm probably moving up to fight Charlo for legacy. Right?
It seems like he's going to fight Tim Tszyu. He might just fight Tim Tszyu.
Listen, Tim Tszyu ain't no easy fight. Like, I think Tim Tszyu is a phenomenal fighter. He's another special fighter in the game right now. And honestly, that's no easy fight for Terrence Crawford. If Terrence Crawford's going to move up and fight Tim Tszyu, I don't know, man. I don't know if he could beat Tim Tszyu. I'm going to be honest with you. Tim Tszyu, to me, is another dangerous guy. I think Tim Tszyu could beat the Charlos. So, in my opinion, Tim Tszyu he's that question mark guy. Like, he's a serious guy. It's just let him get a chance, too. So, if I was Crawford, I would probably move up in weight, try to get a belt so I could go ahead and unify at a higher weight. If I was Boots, I would love to see Boots and Keith Thurman. I think that would be a great fight, right? Let's see Boots fight a guy like Keith Thurman. Go ahead, you beat a guy. Or
Stanionis too.
Well, yeah, everybody's talking about Stanionis, and I get it because Stanionis is, you know what I mean, but he ain't got Keith Thurman's name. Keith Thurman got the name, like everybody knows Keith Thurman. So I think that if Boots fought Keith Thurman and knocked him out and made it like an easy fight, nobody's ever made an easy fight of Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? So if he went in there and dominated Keith Thurman, Charlo goes up in weight, fights, get his legacy fight, beat one of the Charlos or whatever, and then Boots moves up in weight and fights Crawford up there or something like that. I'm okay with that, or they can meet in the middle.
Jamel's fighting Canelo at September 30th, right?
Yeah, he's fighting Canelo right now. I don't think he's gonna win that fight, and I think that he'll come back down and he'll have to. He's still got his belts though, right?
Yeah, but he's the WBO is gonna be not his anymore. They took it away from him today.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I got Canelo beating him. I don't think he could beat Canelo. And I don't think he could beat Crawford. Honestly, I don't think he could beat Crawford either. I think Canelo and Crawford could beat him. I don't think he could beat Tim Tszyu either. I got Tim Tszyu beat. I think all three of those guys could beat Charlo. That's my opinion. Now, Boots and Crawford, they could meet in the middle somewhere. Hopefully, Crawford is the type of fighter that says, you know what, I'm gonna give the young guy a chance. Because if he's that type of guy and he beats Boots,
holy shit.
Walk away. Here's your flowers. Here's your bouquets. I mean, he's going to get them anyway, but that's like a statement. Like, bro, I'm the fucking best, period. Don't you dare ever disrespect me. Like, I'm the GOAT, motherfucker. Can't nobody really say nothing.
Yo, Ant, be real though, right? Would you like to see a Crawford and Canelo at a catch weight in the 60s?
That's a fun fight. And you know what? I give Crawford a good chance in that fight because of the speed. I think he's got the durability
and the feet too.
I think he's got the durability to absorb Canelo's punches, and I believe he's sharper than Canelo because of the speed. So in reality, he might be able to beat Canelo.
And them both haven't seen those styles yet. So that would be one of those, probably the big, that would probably beat Ryan and Tank's numbers too on pay-per-view for sure. I heard that
bro,
they did 650.
Canelo, if Crawford wants to cash out, like really cash out, if he could get the Canelo fight, if he could go up and say, I don't want to fight Charlo. Canelo just beat him. I want to fight Canelo.
Oh man.
It's game over because Canelo's got to make a decision there. He's got to either retire or he's got to fight. And if he retires, you know, everybody going to be like, yeah, we know why you retired. You ain't want to fight that boy. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Listen, Crawford is a phenomenal fighter, man. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, like that, you know, you're that type is when, you know, people are talking about fantasy fights and stuff, talking about, you know, Mayweather and him and who would win, and that's when you know it's like you're the GOAT of this era for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just beat the other guy. I mean, at the end of the day, let's not forget that Errol Spence was that guy. Like a lot of people are like, people now after they seen him get his ass whooped are kind of forgetting that, like, bro, he's been beating motherfuckers up this whole time, and he looked great his last fight where he fought at home in Dallas. Who did he fight at home? And I think he fought Ugas, right? Yeah, he fought Ugas. He put on a great performance against Ugas. He beat Danny Garcia after the accident. Before the accident, he was dominating shit. So I just think that people are forgetting like how good of a fighter Errol Spence was, and now all of a sudden is like, oh man, Errol Spence ain't even in the conversation no more. But my whole point is like Terrence Crawford did that to that guy. Terrence Crawford did that to a beast, bro. You know what I mean?
It's like what Shakur said. It's like, you know, Devin's a good fighter, but he said, I'm special. Well, that's the same thing with those two guys. I think, you know, Spence is a great fighter, but Crawford is special. And
Yeah.
that's just different. And you said it. You said it earlier. That's a once in a generation type of a talent. We don't get that. So, you know, thank God for everyone that's a boxing fan today. That you know, we got to see something special on Saturday night, and I hope people can appreciate it, regardless if it was one-sided or not.
Facts. No, you gotta appreciate it, man. You know, at the end of the day, man, they put on they fight that we wanted to see. They did it for the people. And they fought each other, and one guy had to come out victorious, man.
Right. Now, do you think, I know that I don't want to like discredit Crawford's performance, because I believe he was gonna do something in that era, something like that. But do you think that Spence, as a coach, you've seen him, you think he's all right? You think he's all right? You think, because now they got the doctors saying that he shouldn't even have been fighting that night, and it sucks to hear that, you know, we're discrediting Crawford's performance. But it's like, this is a real deal thing for anybody that's a professional fighter, or want to be a professional fighter. You know, and the doctor says no. I mean, we've seen this with Tiafimo. You know, doctor said no. He went in there anyway. Um, it's sad to see sometimes you could pay these doctors and they can, you know, just accept this. But what are your beliefs on that? Like, did you see something different in Spence, or did Crawford just make him look like that?
You know what? He got hurt so early in the fight that it's kind of hard to tell, because he got hurt in the second round and he never fully recovered from that. So I can't really say. What I will say is at the end of the fight, he looked so beat up and he took so much punishment that even if he didn't get in a car accident and he took a whooping like that, I'd be concerned for him coming back to boxing, because he took so much punishment in that fight that fight alone can be life-changing. Let's forget about the car accident. Let's forget about that. Like, he could have been perfectly never gotten a car accident. You get your ass beat like that, you might never be the same. So I would be concerned 100%. And if I was his coach, I would be monitoring him very closely. When he comes back in the gym and says he wants to fight again, I would be paying attention to how he's responding to stuff, how he's responding in sparring. Because let me tell you something, man. There was a fighter here in the area, and he sparred somebody. I don't even want to say no names or nothing. But he had brain bleeding previously, and he sparred. And after he sparred, he came back. At the end of the 10 rounds, he got hit with a shot. Boom, in the 10th round. And when he got hit with the shot, he kind of made a move, and we looked, and then he kept going. Then at the end of the 10th round, he came back to the corner. He gave dap and everything, like how fighters do at the end of the round. You just go ahead, touch the other corner's glove, and then he passed out.
Wow.
And he fucking was snoring on the floor, bro, like snoring. So my whole point is, they put him to spar competitively when he already had previous trauma, and he damn near could have died in the boxing ring that day. He didn't die, but he could have died sparring. But that's because they didn't take into consideration previous injuries. So if I was, Errol Spence's team, I would, you got to go see doctors. You got to get cleared. I got to see how you're responding in sparring. I got to see how you're responding through, like, all of that shit matters, bro. If you're a coach, you need to be like that, because if not, then you don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
100%. I remember fighting in the Golden Gloves, and I sparred some kid, and he got, before I came in, I was watching my boy spar him, and he knocked him out, and he was out for I think 6 seconds, and he was preparing for the Golden Gloves, and they didn't let him fight. And as a kid, I was 16 at the time. I was like, this is serious. If you're gonna get knocked out and then and we've been preparing for 8 months to get into the Golden Gloves, and now he can't even fight. This got to be serious.
Nah. Yeah, bro. So yeah, that shit, that shit is real, man. It's real, man. So I would, Errol Spence, man, my heart goes out to him. I hope he makes the best decision moving forward with his career. You know what I mean? He's made a lot of money, and he's had a fantastic career. And he lost to the best fighter in the world. He didn't lose to some regular guy. He lost to the best fighter in the fucking world, man. Like, ain't nothing to be ashamed of, brother.
Not at
Nothing to
all.
be ashamed of, man. You lost to Terrence Crawford, motherfucker. You ain't lose to some, average fighter, man. You lost to the best. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
What do you think about Regis Prograis and Devin Haney in October?
Like that fight. Very interesting fight. Hard for me to pick. I think I'm gonna lean toward Devin Haney. I think Prograis might be a little stronger, but I think Devin Haney should be able to win that fight.
I agree. I think his I hate to judge fighters off of their last performance, but then you got coaches saying you're only as good as your last performance.
Right, right, right.
And the guy Danielto Zurila, he's definitely not at that level of Devin Haney. So I think he can get away with just the jab alone, and stay in the back foot for 12 rounds. It seemed like Regis is a little flat-footed, has a hard time cutting the ring off.
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't like to come forward too much.
Yeah.
Like, he has a problem coming forward, and we know Devin could box, so I think Devin should be able to pull it off as long as he doesn't get clipped with something that hurts him in the fight. You know what I mean? Which could happen. I mean, he's fighting a heavier guy, natural 140 pounder. We just got some pop, so I'm gonna lean toward Devin. I'm gonna lean toward him. I'm not like, oh, he's gonna dominate, but I think he should win.
Yeah, because it's boxing. At the end of the day, one punch can change things around easily. Yeah, man, boxing's great right now, man. I mean, I feel like, I don't want to say we're spoiled, but I feel like we're spoiled because back in the '80s, this is normal. This was normal. Now it's like we can get these. I feel like we're getting a banger every month, man.
No, it's been really good. It's been good for some time now. If you're a real fight fan, it's been good for some time now, man.
What other fight that you're interested in stylistically?
I mean, I think we're getting them, man. Honestly, man, it's not. I don't follow everyone, man. That's my problem. So it's hard for me to really. It's hard for really for me to pick. I'm sure if you told me a few names, I can give you some insight. But for the
Well, how
most
about
part,
this, right? How about this, right? Something for like, I know you have a lot of viewers that are want to get into boxing, and I think this is a good question. A guy like Jake Paul that's fighting Nate Diaz this weekend, a guy that's
man, freezing up. Yo, you freezing up. I'm gonna kick you. Come back.
basically with the like you're coaching I house. Hold on one second. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm about to say I ain't hear words you said other than Jake Paul.
Right, right. I was like in a little blind spot. But what do you see as a coach as far as Jake Paul's progression? And I like that, he's fighting Nate Diaz. I probably, would probably go off of, Jake winning just off of the youth. And, he hasn't took as much punishment. But what do you think about his progression as a guy that's coming in from the YouTube world to boxing?
He's done great. He's done great. He showed that he's taking the craft serious. He's coming into these fights in shape. He's strong. He tries his best to win. So, I mean, what else can you ask for?
Right,
I mean, what else?
right.
You know what I mean? Like, what else can you ask for from a fighter? You know what I mean? I mean, Jake Paul is obviously a novice. He's obviously a novice, but he's a
Uh,
strong, tough novice. Very poor connection, bro. Come back in. My boy Mill, Mill. When you see this, man, come back in. I only kicked you because the connection was getting real choppy. But yeah, man, Jake Paul. Listen, Jake Paul not a real boxer, but at this point he is, champ. At this point he is. I mean, he fought real fighters. He fought real fighters, man. You know, at the end of the day. You know, and there was somebody, Rolly Romero's, as much as clowny as Rolly Romero's is, he made a really good point. He said, Jake Paul has fought like 2 or 3 UFC champions in his first 5 fights. Where if you was to go ahead and find some of these fighters, these boxers, and look at their first 10 to 15 fights, they fought absolutely nobody. They go to Mexico and fight guys that don't even really box, but they'll fight for money. They'll go to these small towns. You know what I mean? So he's no different than those guys. He's literally picking his fights in the beginning because he's got the money to do that. But he's actually picking guys who fought before. He fought Tyrone Woodley. He fought that other UFC guy. And he just fought Tommy Fury, who's been boxing most of his life, even though he's not the best boxer. I mean, he lost, but he's fought a real fighter. And I think he went the distance. So at this point, Jake is a real fighter. At this point, you can't discredit him. Now, is he a great fighter? Is he ready for is he ready for the Canelos like he says? No, of course not. But give the man his credit. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting 8-rounders, man. Give the man his credit. He's fighting 8-round fights. Motherfuckers can't hit the heavy bag for 8 rounds. See what I'm saying? So I give him his props, man. He's a fighter. Now, the levels of fighters, that's a whole different thing. And I haven't seen Nate Diaz. Box. So I don't know how good Nate Diaz is as a boxer. I know people say he was a good boxer, a good striker, but I've never seen him actually box. I've never seen any video of him boxing. I've never looked for any video of him boxing, but I don't know how he'll do in a boxing match against Jake Paul, who's been pretty active lately. You know, he's been pretty active. You know what I mean? Boxing regularly. He's sparring regularly. He's in the gym. And he's young and he's strong. He should be all right. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. Maybe I'll take a look at Nate Diaz in the next day and do a video on that this week. I should do it. It'll get me some views. I should do it. Nah, it's all good, bro. The connection was thing, but we're gonna do another. We'll do another stream. You know, you and I, man, and we'll talk some more. Matter of fact, we'll probably do it leading up to this fight. This Nate Diaz fight with Jake Paul. I should do like a coverage on that. So I'm gonna watch Nate Diaz tonight and tomorrow, or I probably just need to watch him. Yeah, probably watch him tomorrow. I think I'm gonna go to sleep early tonight. But I'll come up with a determination from there. But I'm pretty sure that his inactivity might be the biggest issue in this fight. Inactivity boxing, I should say. But yo, guys, man, I think that's it for me, man. I've been on here for quite a bit, man. Make sure you guys go to the website, CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. I hope you guys had fun on this live stream. To me, it was fun. We talked about boxing. We gave boxing tips. We brought my boy Mill City on, who came in and popped up and showed love. And we got to talk about some regular fights and stuff like that. And I plan on going live a lot more often. I might go get live here again tomorrow. Shit, today's Thursday. Damn, I've been so busy. I didn't realize today's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow, that's what we'll do. We'll talk about this Nate Diaz fight leading up to it tomorrow. I'll definitely get back here live. We'll do some more Q&A. And that's it, man. I hope you guys got value, and we'll talk again tomorrow, man. And maybe we'll do a call-in show tomorrow where you guys can actually get in here, talk to me. So make sure you hit the bell notification. Make sure you get my number, especially if you want to talk to me on the camera and you guys want to give your opinions on the fights and talk about stuff. Make sure you guys go ahead and text me. Let me know you got my number so you guys can go ahead and be alerted when I go live tomorrow. All right, man? Thank you for the love and support, and you already know.